Hello, my name's Dan Mitchell, and this dog asleep on my lap is V. I'm here to read you some more fairy stories from the Welsh fairy book by W. Jenkin Thomas. I'd like to start by reading Dick the Fiddler's Money. Now, Dick the Fiddler used to spend on drink all the money that he earned by playing at merrymakings, weddings, and fairs. After a week's fiddle at Darrowen, he was one night wending his way home to his wife and children. He had to go through Fairy Green Lane, which is just above the farm at Kevin Clothiau. And when he came to it, he felt nervous. To banish fear, he tuned his beloved instrument, and as he walked along, he played his favourite air, The Crow's Black Wing. When he passed the greensward, where the fairies used to revel, his fiddle suddenly became very heavy, and he heard a rattling and a tinkling inside it. This continued until he reached Llwybr Sgriw Rhyw, his home. When he entered the cottage, he had to listen to harsher music than he was wont to extract from his fiddle, to wit, the angry voice of his wife, who, justly angered at his absence, began to lecture and scold him. He was called names which he richly deserved: idler, fool, drunken sot, and so forth. "How is it possible," asked his wife, "for me to beg enough for myself and half a house full of children, nearly naked, while you go about the country spending on drink what little money you earn? The landlord came here this morning and said that if you do not pay him the rent, which has long been overdue, he will turn us all out. And what are we to do then? I'm sure you spent all your earnings on beer, and you haven't got a halfpenny in your pocket." "Hush, hush, my good woman," said Dick. "See what's in that old fiddle?" She obeyed, shook it, and out tumbled a number of bright, shiny 5-shilling pieces, more than enough to pay the rent. She promptly put the money away in a safe place and asked him how he had come into possession of it, and he told her. The following day, he went to Llanidloes to pay his rent. His landlord was more than surprised to find that Dick had come not to beg for mercy, as he had done several times before, but to discharge his debt. He gave him a receipt, and thirsty Dick betook himself to the Unicorn to sample Betty Brunt's ale before returning home. He had not consumed more than a trifle of half a dozen glasses when in came his landlord in a state of great excitement. "Where do you get that money you gave me?" he asked. "Why, what's the matter with it?" asked Dick. "It has turned into cockle shells," said the landlord. "Well, it was all right when I gave it to you. And here is a receipt," said Dick, flourishing the document triumphantly. Somebody must have bewitched the coins. He vouchsafed no further explanation, and even when he was gloriously drunk, as he was when he finished up the evening by becoming, no one was able to pump any information out of him as to the origin of the money he had given the landlord. The next story I'd like to read you is A Strange Otter. One day, two friends went to hunt otters on the banks of the Pennant in Merionethshire. When they were some distance from the river, they saw some small creature of a red colour running fast across the meadows in the direction of the stream. Off they ran after it, but before they could catch the little animal, it hid itself beneath the roots of a tree on the brink of a river. The two men thought it was an otter, but at the same time they could not understand why it was red. They thought they would like to catch such an extraordinary specimen alive, and one of them said to the other, "You go home and get a sack while I watch." Now there were two holes under the roots of the tree, and while one held the sack with its mouth open over one of them, the other pushed his stick down the other hole. Presently the creature went into the sack, and the two men set out for home, thinking they had achieved a great feat. Before they proceeded the width of one field, the inmate of the sack spoke in a sad voice and said, "My mother is calling for me. Oh, my mother is calling for me." Now this gave the hunters such a great fright. They at once threw down their sack. Great was their surprise when they saw a little man in a red dress running out of the sack towards the water. Now he disappeared from their sight in the bushes by the river. The two men were greatly terrified and felt that it was more prudent to go home than meddle any further with the fair family.